Hello, good morning, everyone, and welcome in a new webinar of Lab9 Pro. And today on our agenda, the JNUC webinar, the recap of the JNUC event by Jamf, the user conference. They did it in the beginning of October, almost 1 month ago, in Nashville. Our colleague Jordi, who is attending this webinar today, was live in Nashville together with our colleague Bart to see all the new stuff in the Jamf world and what's coming over to our systems with the new software of Jamf, the new updates. And today we're gonna highlight some new features, also the impressions Jordi has on the fair in Nashville, what he saw there, what were his impressions, what are his thoughts about the new things that were coming by during the event. So I would like to start by introducing Jordi. Jordi is our Apple architect at Lab9 Pro. And he is our Apple guy, actually. He is the guy who knows everything about Apple and, of course, everything about Jamf and how to enroll Jamf in your company. He prepared presentation today, I think a half an hour in total, with all his views, all his reaction, and all the new stuff about Jamf for the coming months, years that I will come over. So, Jordi, I will hand over the mic to you. Good luck.
Good morning, everyone. Like Zeno said, my colleague Bart and I were allowed to go to JNUC this year in Nashville. Full disclosure, we were invited by Jamf to go to the convention, so we did get a little bit of funding to help us get there, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we can go again next year in Denver. Just starting out with some numbers. There were just under 2,000 registered individuals there and 177 partners. It's the first time that Jamf invited all their partners worldwide to attend the conference and also gave some funding to them. So it was nice to see some fellow partners there and for us to be able to speak some Dutch whilst we were there as well. There were 161 sessions over 3 days. We were able to attend about 30 of them, so we do have some catching up to do. There were 71 brain dates. Brain dates are get-togethers with an individual or a group to talk about a certain topic, and then also several hands-on labs that we were able to take advantage of. So looking at the key announcements of the conference, there were some announcements made, and we'll go over all of them individually. Starting with Self-Service Plus. I do hope that Jamf doesn't go the Apple route and call it Self-Service Pro Max next year. But so this is a consolidation of all the Jamf applications into one, right? If you would be using the full Jamf stack, you know that you have several apps on those systems, and it can be a little bit much for the end users to take a look at. So Self-Service Plus is a consolidation of all of those things into one. Open beta Q4 2024, if I saw the release notes correctly of the upcoming Jamf Pro release, they will first introduce the extra customization options into the normal self-service app. That should be coming somewhere in November. And then the beta will go live for Self-Service Plus, starting with integrating Jamf Protect. So you will be able to see if your system is up to date and protected from the self-service app. In a later stage, they will then add the Jamf Trust and Jamf Connect apps in there as well. If you want to learn more about Self-Service Plus, you can watch this session. Now, the sessions are not posted yet on the Jamf YouTube page. They should be coming somewhere in November. So for all the sessions that I mentioned, they are going to be live in a couple of weeks. Now, this session in particular shared the roadmap, so when that you can expect certain integrations, and of course, how that works in the background with the architecture. Next up, and probably my favorite announcement, were compliance benchmarks in Jamf Pro. Now, for those who don't know, Jamf already has a separate software that's built on top of the macOS security compliance project called the Jamf Compliance Editor, which allows you to create a baseline for any compliance benchmarks you want to match, right? And they are bringing that into the Jamf Pro interface. So whilst that app that exists is easy enough to use, it's still quite some work to scope out all your groups. With this coming to the interface, you can just click which benchmark you want to apply, which smart group you want to target, and that's it. Also in open beta Q4 2024, starting with the SIS 1 and 2 benchmarks, and then others will become available later, starting with macOS only, and will then expand to iOS and iPadOS. So if I zoom in a little bit on that, here you can see some of the rules that apply to the SIS benchmark. Then you can just tick them off like you want them to configure, press next, and it will distribute to all those targets without that you have to go into each individual configuration profile and do that manually. The session that was about compliance benchmarks was introducing compliance benchmarks. It shows the origins of that feature, so the Jamf compliance editor, how it works under the hood, because essentially it does the same, right? And how the admin experience will be in Jamf Pro. Next was AI Assistant. It wouldn't be a tech conference, I guess, in 2024 without saying something about AI. Last year at JNUC, they showed off their AI capabilities, but didn't really make an announcement around it. This year, they went full in and introduced the AI Assistant. Coming also in beta Q4 2024, so by the end of year. And whilst I'm showing slides here with it integrated in the Jamf Pro and Protect interfaces, the very first beta will go live in the Jamf account. So you will not have integration in your instance just yet. But you can ask it several things, right? It's a language model trained on Jamf's documentation center and support knowledge base. So you can ask it to create how to create a smart group, and it will tell you how to do that. In a later stage, coming early next year, it will be integrated in your Jamf instance, and you will be able to query that. So you could ask, for example, how many of my devices are up to date, and it will reply to you with an amount. In its final stage, and we didn't really get an estimate on when that would be introduced, you will be able to take action with it as well. So you'll be able to ask it to create a smart group or a policy, and it will actually do that. So zooming in, here you can see it integrated in Jamf Pro. You can ask it a question, and then it starts spitting out an answer on how you can do certain things. The session that went on about AI was called AI and Data Science. It will give you more details about the large language model powering AI assistants, and also give you a thought of the roadmap that's coming in the next year or so. Next up, and probably the biggest announcement, were blueprints. And for the tech-savvy people amongst you, blueprints isn't anything new. Jamf now has had blueprints for years, and I guess all the other MDM competitors have had blueprints as well. This was very much not about the actual blueprints, but about declarative device management, right? So DDM is the future of device management, and the blueprint parts that Jamf announced is just them getting ready to implement it. Without going too much off topic, the current state of MDM commands is you send out a push command to your devices. Those devices check in to Jamf. Jamf sends over a configuration profile, and then those devices apply it, but you have very limited view on what's happening there. With blueprints, you can just configure something that you want to achieve, throw it over the bench, and then the devices will get back to you once that's done. You have those status channels that will actually indicate if the device is still busy or where it's at. There is a DDM feature implemented in Jamf already with the software updates, and now they are getting ready to implement all the new features with that. So if you look at blueprints, you can configure them much like configuration profiles. In the beginning, it will be very feature complementary because DDM is still an evolving thing. So all new features that Apple announced regarding the device management are DDM only, but you still have to do your MDM configs as well. Here you can see us setting a passcode policy, for example, and you can still leverage your smart groups and static groups that you have already in Jamf. Once you have your passcode policy set up, you can just push it out, and then that will go to the devices. They have a blueprint builder tool so you can mix and match several things amongst each other. Here they will also add the disk management feature that was announced with macOS Sequoia. That's DDM only as well. So to use that, blueprints will have to be implemented. Um, I don't know if Jamf will like me saying this, but they actually took note of what Microsoft has been doing for a while. So Microsoft with Intune has been mapping the Apple device management GitHub page and just importing changes, testing them, validating them, and pushing them out. Um, Jamf will do the same, so that's good, right? And they, in the backend, also made changes so Jamf Pro and Jamf School are now more feature complementary. So any new features coming can be implemented in both MDM systems much faster. And DDM is a system that's coming to all the OSs, right? So macOS, iPadOS, tvOS, visionOS, etc. So zooming in, this is some, you have some templates that you can get started with to, for example, secure your device or to manage Safari extensions. You can create them yourself, like we already showed, and then that blueprint builder can mix and match any of those payloads together. If you want to learn more about DDM in particular, the session Take Control of Your Mobile Device Management was a very interesting one. You not only get some idea of which workflow does what, but it will also explain you how you can adapt your existing workflows and upgrade them to take use of DDM. Next announcement, and that's in beta that is live right now, was network relays. So this is particularly interesting for people that are already using the ZTNA portion of Jamf Connect. You might know that to use that ZTNA solution, you have to deploy the Jamf Trust app, and it creates an always-on VPN connection to Jamf, so you can then access your resources. With network relays, that changes. So that uses the same technology as iCloud Private Relay does. And actually, it gets your identity through device attestation. So it actually checks your secure enclave to see if that's actually the correct MAC and gives access to those resources. The benefit of that is that this is an agentless solution, so you no longer need that Jamf Trust app for that, and it's compatible with other VPN solutions, which is interesting, for example, for us here at Lab9, where we do want to use ZTNA to get to our resources, but we want to allow our IT team to still make VPN connections to customers. So in the past, that was either way. Either we disconnected the Jamf Trust app and made a VPN to a customer. With network relays, we can do both. And they had a very interesting session about not only network relays, but also device attestation and ACME certificates. This was a pretty technical session, but definitely worth a watch. And again, they explain the architecture behind it, but also the roadmap going forward. And then last but not least, the only announcement that was made for education, and the only one that is released already, is time-based filtering in Jamf Safe Internet. So for the people in education that have been using Jamf Safe Internet for a while now, one of the biggest feature requests was that you could scope out your policies for certain times. So you could enforce something during school hours and allow it in the weekends or after school. And this is now implemented and live, so you can start using that. That was pretty much it for the keynote. There were some demos with the Vision Pro, etc., but we covered the announcements. If you would like to rewatch the keynote, it is on their YouTube channel. Same for the State of the Union for Business and Education. The State of the Union sessions go a little bit deeper on those various announcements. And like I said at the beginning, every session at JNUC will be uploaded to the Jamf YouTube page somewhere in November, last by the end of the year, right? So then, what were our favorite sessions? And we selected a couple, starting with Microsoft coming in and talking about platform single sign-on. And this was a very nice battle is the wrong word, but you had Michael from Microsoft presenting platform single sign-on, and then Sean from Jamf helping to show you what it is and is not, right? So they showed off how to deploy platform single sign-on, which is as easy as pushing out a company portal and just a configuration profile. but then also answer a question that we get a lot from customers as well. What about Jamf Connect? And it's very important that you know the difference between platform single sign-on and Jamf Connect and what platform single sign-on is not. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to message us and we will be able to help you with that. The next session that we found very interesting was called Pull Your Admin Up by the Bootstraps. It was a very short session from Jonathan of CDW. It was over lunch, so it took like 15 minutes. But it's one of the better explanations that I ever had about Bootstrap tokens. This is just one extract, but feel free to scan that QR code and just take a look at it. Of course, Bootstrap tokens and everything that entails is something that we usually take care of for our customers. But for the people that manage their own Jamf instance, you probably know that this can be quite a headache. And this session is very good at explaining what those tokens do, how you get them, and what you have to do to remediate if you somehow messed up. Next session that was very interesting, but maybe they shouldn't have put it as the last session of the last day, because you could see in the audience that people were having a harder time to keep their focus. Was demystifying custom analytics in Jamf Protect, right? It's a very interesting topic for everyone that uses Jamf Protect. You know that analytics can be used to log anything and everything on your devices. And Jamf does a great job in providing you with existing custom analytics. They have a GitHub page full of them. But it's very interesting if you can make them yourself, because then you can really target what you want to know and analyze that. Not going to say that I can now fluently write these myself, but it's a very good session to understand what you can do and which actual analytics you need to use to achieve that. So definitely worth a watch. And then last but not least, for me, the very best session that we had from Misha, who works at Jamf in the Netherlands, is understanding Apple deployment workflows and how to master them. This was one of the least technical sessions that were at JNUC, but still had the best explanation I ever had about deployment workflows, right? So this is just one slide of that presentation, and I will be sharing the QR codes to the actual slides. But the session is really a good one to watch because there was a lot of video content in there to see how that enrollment flow actually works. But you have several ways of enrolling devices into management with your Apple devices, and this was a very good explanation on how that all works. So this is the QR code for that and the link. Misha shared some resources there as well as the actual presentation, so definitely worth a watch. So I have two more things that I wanted to mention. First and foremost, we had one more announcement made during the JNUC keynote, and that one is specifically for you, the customers, is the Jamf Nation Reward Program, right? For the people that know the Jamf Heroes program that was decommissioned not too long ago, that was a program for customers and partners that rewarded you to be active in the community. This was replaced with Jamf Nation Rewards. It's customers only, so I'm out of luck, unfortunately, but everyone who is a paying Jamf customer, so has a Jamf account with an active license on it, can earn rewards by attending events, posting in Jamf Nation, or completing tasks like just keeping up to date with the news. Those rewards range anywhere from a t-shirt or a water bottle all the way up to training passes or tickets to JNUC. So it's definitely worth being active there. You can enroll in this program just by navigating to your Jamf account, logging in, and there should be a button to enroll into the rewards program right there. And then last but not least, JNUC is the largest gathering of Apple admins in the world. And I'm just going to throw in a shameless plug here. We're doing the same, but much smaller. Misha from Jamf is hosting the Benelux Mac Admins Meetup, and Lab9 is sponsoring the next version of that. It's in the Van der Valk Hotel in Antwerp, Tuesday the 12th of November, from about 5:30 till around 9 p.m. We have 100 seats available. There are already 70 plus attendees, but there's still some leftover space, so you're more than welcome. And our agenda is almost finalized, so it should be an interesting evening. I'm just going to put up this QR code right here for just a minute. And then I'm going to open it up for questions.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Jody, for your presentation and your view of JNUC we had in Nashville. Wonderful extra things of new things, new features we saw there. I think you have a backpack full of information back home a few weeks ago. So a lot of stuff to explore, to test, of course. Some things are in beta. If you have any questions, just put your questions in the Q&A box. I didn't told you that in the beginning of the webinar, but if you have any questions for Jordi about his trip to JNUC, just put them in the Q&A. Maybe I have one for Jordi. What is the main thing for you if you have the complete scope of Jamf right now, what you saw in JNUC? What is for you the thing that we're gonna see in the upcoming years taking back each time, coming back each time?
I mean, and I don't know how much of that I should be sharing, because the day before JNUC, we also had the global partner day. So all those partners got together and talked with each other about the future of Jamf. Um, the topic of the keynote was go further, and this is pretty much what Jamf needs to do, right? Jamf is facing more and more competitors in the MDM space, and they're showing that they want to move forward, doing things that they should have been doing for a while. So DDM is one. DDM is coming. That's great. They are listening and consolidating their various products into one more overview of product, which is good as well. And they just want to push forward managing your Apple devices. So they want to keep that leap that they still have on other MDM competitors, and just building on top of that.
Yeah, okay, that's clear. And I think security as well is going to be also a main topic. We already had our trusted access webinar a few weeks ago, and I think security will still keep top of mind during the upcoming sessions that we do with Jamf, and of course on the upcoming JNUC. It was in Denver.
Yep,
Yeah,
Denver,
Denver.
Colorado.
All right, again in October.
Normally, yes.
No, really, yes. Okay, and probably we're gonna attend as well with
I
the
hope
team of
so.
yeah. We're gonna ask our boss. Okay, for this moment, I don't have any questions in our chat box. I don't know, Jordi, do you have something extra to tell to the audience today?
I mean, test betas. Everything is coming in beta by the end of year, and just as with your software releases from Apple, it's not a bad idea to actually go out and test them. So, for example, that self-service updates. Everyone that uses Jamf probably uses self-service, so take a look at that, see what that entails for your environment. Same with all the rest, right? If you do use ZTNA, take a look at those network relays. If you have to apply a security benchmark, take a look at those security benchmarks and see what changes are coming, that you are ready once that goes live.
Yeah. Okay, that's clear. And of course, if you have any questions and you don't find out it by yourself, we have our excellent service team here at Lab9 Pro that can provide you with extra help. And of course, our contact with Jamf is very close. Like Jordi said, we have also our event the 12th of November where we have our Mac admin event. I think the first time in Belgium, otherwise it's in Holland. Oh, second time? Yeah, second time here. So yeah, hopefully you can attend the event 12th. We're happy to see you there. And I think then we close our webinar for today, and then we will see each other next time for an upcoming webinar about our Jamf projects.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And see you soon. Thank you.